Okay, in this session we're going to learn about how to make a table where I can keep track of some customers who are buying products, and I already have 5 orders. I'm going to find out how to display just my gold customers, my most profitable items. Those are 2 questions I'd like to ask. I will also show you how to make a form to enter new customers, as well as create a report to see which are your most profitable items. Creating a new database in Access. We'll start off by saving it as example database. Enable content. Yes, I trust my own file. We'll make a table, create table, and we'll switch to design view, call the table product. We want to keep track of the item, which will be a short description of the item as well as its cost. I'll save it and return to datasheet view where I can enter information. Actually, I don't want a default value, so I'll get rid of that under cost. Go back to datasheet view. In my business, I'm selling the following items. I'm entering these by typing and then hitting tab, $10, return. Tab, 25, return. Tab, return. I see this is cut off a little bit. If I double click here, it makes it the size it needs to be, and only that big. I'll save that, and we'll do another table. I also want to keep track of my customers. We'll do create table. This one will be called customers. It asks me for a name to save it under when I switch to design view. In design view, I want to keep track of custom num, as well as level. All of those will be short text. We want to limit the F name to be 25, so no more than 25 characters can be entered for that. We'll do the same for last name. For zip code, we'd also like to limit that to be 5, and for state 2. If we go to datasheet view, it'll ask us to save. This is the view that allows us to enter data. I'll put in my first customer, tabbing between fields, and that person will be gold level. Okay, now to make the data entry a little easier, I'm going to do some adjustments in design view. I'm going to put a mask on the phone. So I'll have an input mask. When I click here, then I get some dots over here. If I click that, I can change the mask to be for a phone number. I want the placeholder character to be number signs. I want to see the symbols when I'm typing. Okay, so now if I go back and I enter another customer, you'll notice a slight difference when I type in the phone number. Now it gives me a mask when I type in the exact same number. Actually, not the same number, but notice that the prior phone number is formatted as well as this one. And this one was formatted as I typed it in. Okay, I'd like to make another change to design view because I don't want to have to keep typing gold and silver. I'd like to be able to select those from a list. So under level, if I click here in the short text area, I get a drop down arrow, and then I can choose Lookup Wizard. I will type in the values I want. Next, the values I would like are gold, tab, silver, tab, bronze. I would like to limit it so that the person can only choose from my list. I don't want them to be able to choose more than one value, so I'll leave that unchecked. Click Finish. Now when I save and go back to Datasheet View and enter my third person, now I have a choice, and I choose gold. Notice that it has a pen in here, which would allow me to add another item to the list. If I want that to not be the case, then I can save, switch back to Design View, and under Level, Lookup, allow value list edits. I can change that to no. And when I go back to view this time, when I choose for my fourth record, I will not be able to edit that. My fourth person is going to be bronze. I'll go ahead and enter that person very quickly. And save. Set the caption for S name to be first name, and the caption for L name to be last name. Caption for zip to be zip code. Internally, Access will refer to these fields with these names, but when it displays them for me, set custom to be customer number. Now it'll actually display those longer captions instead. Okay, instead of entering data this way, I could make a form. Let me close this. You always want to have everything closed before you do the next new thing in Access. So all my items here are closed. To make a form for entering customer information, I'll single click customer so it's not open. Create form. Move this over a bit so I can see this edge. I can alter it if I like. I don't have to. It's a little bigger than I need on that side. I might decide I want to move the address over, so I'll grab it with its label so it's to the right. Then I can grab the rest as well. Click city, hold shift, click here to grab all together. I might decide to move the phone number over. Maybe move the level up. Notice that it has customer number, first name, last name, so it's using the caption information. I don't need these last two rows, so I'll click here, delete. Click again, delete. I might prefer for these to be right justified so they're a little bit closer to what they refer. Same with these. So click and then shift and click again to highlight them all together. Now they're on the right. I can adjust the size of these a little. I could change colors if I wanted to bring this one to attention, for example. I could go to Format, change its color to maybe yellow. I could do all the address ones so it's really clear that they go together. You don't have to, but it can make entering data in the form easier. Okay, now in order to actually enter data in the form, I have to leave the layout view and go to form view. This allows me to enter information. I see that I already have 4 records entered. Those are the ones, if you notice, that we entered together before. If I click on new blank record, that allows me to put in new information. Okay, so now I'll save my form, customer data entry. If I open customers, I'll see now that Martha Jones is there as well, and that I have 5 records. So it's just a different way to enter basically the same information you could enter directly. But Forms gives you a way to keep the structure of your table safe from those who are entering data. You can give people access just to the form. Next, we're going to add an orders table to keep track of our orders. So we'll click Table. Under the Create tab, we'll go to Design View and enter the following fields. We'll have ordnum, which will be an auto number. We'll let Access automatically generate new unique numbers for us. Notice we have a primary key indicating that that number will be unique for every record in the table. Keep track of the date they ordered it. Description of the item and the quantity they ordered. Okay, for this one we're going to do a little bit different lookup. For item ordered, we'll do a lookup like we did before, but this time we're going to look it up in a table already existing. I want to look up the fields from a value from another table. We're going to look in the product table, because remember that has the description of all the items that could be purchased. We want to link to the item field of that table. We want to list those items in ascending order. So we'll have bow tie fez, scarf sonic, TARDIS ornament. So basically it typed those in for us, whereas before we typed them in ourselves. We do want to allow data integrity. So for example, if we were to delete a product like TARDIS ornaments, but we still had an order linked to TARDIS ornaments, we wouldn't want to delete that, right? So enabling data integrity makes sure that that cannot happen. It asks, do we want to have relationships be created automatically for us? Yes. We could have created that relationship directly as well by going to Database Tools, Relationships, and dragging item on top of item and letting go. It would have created this one-to-many relationship, which basically means for each product, I might have many orders that want that product. Or going the other direction, for an order with a particular product, I will find one and only one description of it with its cost and product in the product table. Okay, now switching to datasheet view where I might start to enter my data. I'm not going to do that this time. I already have in an Excel file all my orders, which really could be thousands. In this case, we just have 5. I'm going to input this orders file into my database so that I do not have to type all those in again. So I'll go to external data, import from Excel. I will choose that file that I just showed you. I'm going to import the source data into, I'm going to append the table actually. So I could have imported and just created the table in one fell swoop, but since I already created the table, I'm going to append the records to go into the orders table. Click OK. I do like how that is showing. That looks correct. I click Next. The first row is the column headings, which matches what's in my Excel as well. Sometimes, like if you were bringing it in fresh and it was making the table for you, then you'd want to check that box to make sure the top row was your field names. I'm going to import it into the table orders. Click Finish. I don't need to save these steps unless I were doing this every morning when I came in first thing, importing the new orders. Now when I open orders, all of those pieces of information are already in there. Okay, so that's two of the basic things you can do in Access, tables and forms. Now we're going to look at asking questions, or in other words, making queries.